The Morning Majority on 630.
WMAL. 6:06 on the Morning Majority. Happy Friday to you. Brian Neiman along with Major Garrett from the National Journal in this morning on the big royal wedding day.
Yes, I am. Big day with the royal wedding. It's going on. If you're not awake, you need to get awake and turn on the TV. It's happening right now. They're walking down the aisle.
You're killing me. It's not what you're supposed to do in radio. Tell people to turn the television off. We need
They can multitask. This is a multitasking country now.
You know, we were playing Culture Club before. We're trying to do all British themes here this morning. Now, a real royal wedding would be Boy George and George Michael. Now that would be worth watching.
It would be a Georgian wedding, yes.
That's right. Stephen A. Portnoy from ABC News is actually down in Florida right now for the Space Shuttle launch this
Another
afternoon.
big story. An American story.
An American story. Stephen, by the way, you and Major, journalist.
Yes.
When Portnoy was in here doing the show with me a couple of weeks ago, all he wanted to do was read the weather. Right? I mean, right, Stephen? Right?
All I really wanted to do was say it's partly cloudy skies and a high of 68 degrees.
Right, exactly. And that's the same thing Major wants to do. He wants to do the weather for London, but
I'm giving the listeners London weather, all right, from the BBC World Service.
That's right.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't it fantastic? Now tell the truth, Stephen A. Katursky.
The real Stephen A.
Yeah, that's right. Aaron Katursky is in London for the royal wedding. You're in Florida. Would you rather be covering the story for ABC News in London, the royal wedding, or are you happy to be in Florida? And I want the honest answer.
The honest answer is no. I couldn't care less about the Duke and Duchess of this or that, but we are watching the royal wedding here at the Kennedy Space Center.
Is that right?
Canterbury is the magic word there.
That's right.
Duke and Duchess of Canterbury.
This is the pre-dawn darkness here at the Kennedy Space Center. We're watching the wedding, but the big other news today, aside from that, and of course the devastation in the southern part of the country, is the fact that at 3:47 p.m. today, the penultimate space shuttle mission gets underway. President Obama will be here. Gabby Giffords is already here, and they've just decided in the last few minutes to begin to tank the space shuttle, to actually fuel the external fuel tank with hydrogen and oxygen and all that, and then it'll take off at 3:47 p.m., barring any other circumstance we're not aware of at this point. But so far we'll go for launch unless wind or anything else gets in the way.
All right, you used a fancy word there, penultimate. That means second to last, right?
That's exactly right. There's
Exactly.
only one more opportunity to see a space shuttle launched after this one. That's Atlantis at the end of June. So a lot of attention on this mission. Of course, because Mark Kelly is the commander and his wife has made it here. She arrived here Wednesday. Our television station in Houston got a picture of her walking up the steps of a NASA plane, slowly, carefully, with help, wearing a padded medical helmet.
Yes.
She's missing a piece of her skull still.
Wow.
And so she's walking around with this helmet. But it's evidence of her remarkable recovery. Brian and Major, tomorrow will be 16 weeks after the shooting in Tucson. And to think about it, not even 4 months after a bullet pierced her brain, she's able to speak in short declarative statements. She's able to walk around. She's undergoing therapy with the use of a bowling ball and a cart to get up and down the hallways. But she's able to express herself and to be here. She said she really wanted to see this launch. Mark Kelly's been preparing for this mission for 18 months, and he said that she really wanted to make it here, and so she's made it here.
Right. Why are they getting rid of the shuttles?
Well, that is a policy decision on the part of the Obama administration. It is a decision to basically end the government-run manned space program. Now, that means that it doesn't mean that we won't continue sending American astronauts into space, but it will mean that after the space shuttle program, we're going to have to hitch a ride. And at first, it'll be on the Russian Soyuz capsules or their particular spacecraft, and then we're going to start to basically contract it out. And there are a number of companies that are working to come up with the next edition of how American astronauts are going to get up into space and how we're going to basically buy space on those spacecraft. But these machines have not been devised yet. They've not been constructed. There are a number of plans out there that are in the works, but so far there's nothing set in stone as to what exactly the next American astronauts are going to ride on. And once this program here ends, we're talking about thousands of people on the Florida Space Coast who will be out of work come, I guess, the end of June, once Atlantis' mission is complete.
Stephen A., how many shuttle launches have you seen? Or this will be your first?
This is my second major, and it's a fortunate thing for me to do this. You know, there have been 133 of these so far, and this is the 134th mission, I'm told. So this is an opportunity, a rare opportunity to see one of the two last.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason I ask is this will be sort of, if my kids are listening.
Personal reason. It's a personal question for Major Garrett.
Is it worth seeing? Because I'm thinking maybe going down for the last one.
Well, you know, it should be something you could do if you could do it. If you want to do it, you should talk to folks at National Journal, see if there's a policy story you could write about what it means politically for Florida with all these jobs lost.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually a good angle.
Yes, I can come up. Believe me, I can come up with the angles. I just want to know if is it really cool to see. I imagine it is.
Listen, we're about 3 miles back from the actual launch pad, and I don't think any human beings can get any closer, and the reason for that is what they call this acoustic wave that's created. Remember, you've got those 3 main engines, the 2 solid rocket boosters, 4.5 million pounds of fuel on that thing, and when it goes up, man, 3 miles back, you can feel the reverberations in the air from that faucet of flame that pours out from beneath the shuttle, and 3 miles away, it's like your chest starts to shake. It is a remarkable thing that, you know, when you watch it on television, the cameras are fixed on the space shuttle as it launches into the air, and you're like, oh, okay, I see it on the screen. You know, that's interesting. You know, the camera really never leaves that picture because we're all focused on the shuttle itself. But to watch it just shoot up into space from the ground, a rocket from the ground. It's a remarkable thing.
That's pretty amazing.
Feel it 3 miles back. Feel the energy. It's incredibly powerful.
Now, what exactly are they doing on this mission? They're going to the International Space Station, right?
Yeah, and you know, one of the astronauts on this mission told us that the space shuttle is basically the last great space pickup truck, because this vehicle is able to carry all these supplies and material up to the space station, and they basically have packed it with as much as they can carry. Supplies and spare parts, but also this $2 billion alpha magnetic spectrometer. And this is what a lot of scientists are really excited about. More than 15 years in the making. They say that it could prove or disprove the Big Bang Theory.
Wow.
I would imagine, though, that, you know, NASA, with the budget problem that we have in this country, and the fact that we have a debt problem, everybody wants to cut everything, that NASA is going to be on the chopping block big time. What are you hearing from the folks down there about, you know, the future of the space program, and will it be completely gutted in the next couple of years because of our budget problems?
Well, there's a lot of optimism that, you know, obviously manned space exploration will continue. NASA's budget is I think, about, $5 billion a year. The Space Shuttle program itself is about $1.5 billion a year, which in the grand scheme of things in terms of federal spending, as you know, is not a whole lot. But, you know, this program has been ended by this administration. President Obama was here about a year ago to announce the change in policy. And, you know, as I say, that the future of manned exploration in the short term will depend upon other countries to get us up to the space station. And then the idea of further exploration, either to the moon or to Mars, will be dependent upon the development of new programs and technologies. The Ares constellation programs have basically been scrapped by this administration. So we'll have to see what kind of contractor or other kind of private enterprise can come up with, and what the government's going to get behind. But that's the future track.
All right, Stephen. Good to talk to you. Enjoy the launch. Enjoy the wedding this morning as well.
Indeed.
We'll talk to you soon.
Man.
Stephen Portnoy, live from Florida here on WMAL. You know what? That's a good question to ask. I mean, with all the problems that we have right now and all the cutting, is it worth just, you know?
Those were questions asked around the entire moon mission in the 60s. You go back and look at the clips. Because I did this when I was working at the Houston Post, and we were coming up on one of the anniversaries of the moon landing. You can see throughout the NASA flight experiments, orbiting, then getting to the moon, orbiting the moon, all of that. Throughout that, there was constant questions asked. Is this worth it? Why are we doing this? We're fighting a war in Vietnam. We have a war on poverty. We have all these domestic needs. Why are we doing this? And, of course, at the time that we landed on the moon, everyone said, gosh, we're glad we did this, because of the technological spin-offs and the sense of great global and national accomplishment that the moon and the manned exploration of space provided.
Should we be spending money to explore space right